Welcome back to another recipe from Gabby's Delights. Today I've made some savory shrimp and grits. You can have this for dinner time, you can have this for brunch time, anytime you like. So let's get into this video. To a medium saucepan, I'll be adding 2 cups of chicken broth as well as 2 cups of milk. Once this mixture comes to a boil, we're going to add our stone ground grits. You can also use the quick grits. I rather use the stone ground grits for this recipe as I feel it's a better texture. I've added salt to this solution as well as some butter. And now that it has come to a boil, I'll be adding in my grits. With these grits, you have to be sure to stir constantly, no lumps. We're going to reduce the heat and then we're going to cover and allow to simmer for about 15 to 20 minutes. I'll be seasoning my shrimp with Old Bay, garlic powder, and black pepper. My shrimp have already been cleaned and deveined. We're going to mix well, and then we're going to set aside and we'll cook them later down the line. I've already added my bacon to a pan, and we're just going to let that get nice and hot. And I am here stirring my grits and adjusting the consistency by adding a little bit more milk. I like my grits to be a heavy texture, but not too thick, but not too loose. I'll show you a bit later on. I'm just tasting the grits here. It's important just to taste as you go to adjust your seasoning. I'm adding some salt, and we're just going to continue with the cooking process of the grits. Again, we're going to stir about every 3 to 5 minutes. And back to my bacon. Now that one side is done, we're going to flip to the other side. I don't like my bacon to be too hard. I like it in between soft and hard. And back to stirring these grits, I'm adding some cheese. I'm using mozzarella, but you can use whatever cheese you prefer. And we're going to mix again. And just a process of going back and forth between the grits and the bacon. And once that bacon is done, we'll move forward to the next process. And I'm just here stirring my grits once again. And now that my bacon is done, we're going to add some butter to the pan. And we're going to add some flour. So this is going to be the start of our roux. We're going to gently stir that solution and make sure it's foamy. And back to stirring those grits, guys. Again, stir it every 3 to 5 minutes, no lumps. And here, since my roux is a nice consistency, we're going to add some diced tomato. I'm using fire roasted diced tomatoes. I just love the flavor of them. You can use whatever diced tomatoes you like, or you can just simply dice up some tomatoes and season it to your liking. And we're going to stir well. And back to our grits. Do you see the creaminess of that? Do you see the consistency? That's what you want to see, guys. And now back to our sauce. I told you guys you have to be able to multitask in the kitchen. We're going to be adding some heavy cream to our diced tomato mixture, and we're going to stir well and season. I'm adding some garlic powder and black pepper, and I'll be adding in some Worcestershire sauce. And as you can see, I've turned on my pot to get ready for my shrimp. And I've added onion powder, a bit of brown sugar, just to break up that acid a bit from the tomatoes. And we're going to give it a gentle stir. And here I'm just adjusting some of the seasonings a bit. And I've added butter to my heated pan so we can begin to cook our shrimp. And we're just going to allow this sauce to simmer a bit. And we're going to start our shrimp cooking process. So I'm just adding it, and you're going to cook about 1.5 minutes on each side. Again, and I've said this before, you don't need to take 5 to 10 minutes to cook shrimp, as we don't want it to be rubbery. So about 1.5 minutes on each side. And to the sauce, I'm adding some red crushed peppers. As you know, guys, I like a little spice in all of my sauces. You don't have to use it, it's optional. And we're just going to be flipping our shrimp, and we'll be taking those out momentarily. And just like that, our shrimp are done, and we are done cooking. It's now time to plate and eat. And here you have it, savory shrimp and grits from Gabby's Delights. I hope you enjoy.